Okay, perfect. Let me copy it over. Okay, so we want to use 5 as an example of how to use the quotient rule. Now, 5 can actually be solved without the quotient rule. My experience has been that 5 is the type of problem that it's kind of personal preference. If you prefer not to use the quotient rule, that's fine. If you like using the quotient rule, that's fine as well. So I'm just going to show the quotient rule method. Let's go get the quotient rule here. Okay, drag this over, clear this off. And my page is out of order here, so just give me a second to fix that. Perfect. Okay, so we start out the problem the same as always. We say y prime is, or y is that, like Nick said, 2 more for Nick. We go dy dx. So we end up with this. I just want to give away some points. It's a really easy question. Just raise your hand and collect your points. If I'm going to use the quotient rule, I have to be able to identify what is f in this case, what's g in this case. Don't overthink it. Just think with me and get some points. Hands, show me what's f, what's g. Let's go, Savannah.
F is 1, and G is 4 there.
Yep. I'm writing f and g over here. You don't have to. This is just so no one gets lost. So you can do this part in your head. So show me your hands if you correctly identified f and g for this problem. 4 points, 5 for Savannah. Okay, the rule says that, again, using the equal sign, we're going to replace this blue box, actually whatever that is, let's highlight it better. We're going to replace this blue box with this. Well, we first identify that the blue and the green are the same, and then the rule says that the green and the red are the same. Therefore, the blue can be replaced with the red. That's what I mean when I say we're using the equal sign. Questions about that? So I make the replacement. So I write y prime equals g. G is 4 to the x. F prime confuses people sometimes. F prime, we've already talked about it, is simply another symbol for d of f over dx. But back to Nick, he gets 2 more. We're just using the equal sign. F and 1 are the same thing. So d of f is the same thing as d of 1. Questions? Please, Jacob.
Isn't that 0?
That ends up being 0. 4 points for Jacob. So that means g times f prime is just g multiplied by 0. So like this, you need me to talk about it more. It didn't click. So are you okay here that just following the rule, we've got g, which is 4 to the x. We need to find f prime. Good to there?
Yeah.
Okay. So f prime, are you okay that f prime is the same thing as d dx of f?
Yeah.
Perfect. Are you okay, Emily, that f and 1 are the same thing?
Yeah. Wait, I'm kind of
Very good.
confused about f prime. Like, I get how f is 1, but then why is f prime?
Oh, my bad. Sorry. So Emily's question is, why are these two the same? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. No, good question. 4 more points for that. Mark them down, Emily. This one is really true only because somebody said it was. Like, it's no different than the reason your name is Emily is because somebody declared your name to be Emily. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why these two are the same.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
So are you okay that D of F would be the same thing as D of 1? Perfect. Are you okay that D of 1 is 0?
Yeah.
So you're good, yeah. Perfect, good question. Put down 4 more. But yeah. You give out twice as many tickets now because you only see them half as often, so, you know. Okay, it's minus F. F is just 1. And then we'd have d dx of G like that. Because by the same argument that I just went through with Emily, if G is equal to 4 to the x, then G prime is the exact same thing as d of G divided by dx, which because G and 4 to the x are the same, that's the same thing as d of 4 to the x all over, bad pen all of a sudden, dx. So, question. Awesome. All of it gets divided by 4 to the x squared. Okay, questions about anything? Anyone? So you just keep going. Next line's going to be y prime 0 multiplied by anything is just going to be 0. 1 multiplied by anything is just the anything. So we've got to worry about this now. So in the spirit of learning to skip some steps, I also recommend that you memorize the rules. So here's what I do to help memorize the rules more easily. The rule sheet contains this formula g of x because mathematically I have to have something to represent the fact that g of x could be whatever. So let's get the pen over there. So right here, in this rule, there's a g of x. That's just representing some expression. So when I memorize this rule, I actually do not memorize the symbol g of x. And I don't memorize the symbol a either. I memorize what the rule means. So what I memorize is the derivative of a number, because a just represents some value, just some number, the derivative of a number to something. I don't worry about saying g of x because g could be anything. So I just say the derivative of, right here, the derivative of a number to something is going to equal natural log of the number multiplied by number to the something multiplied by derivative of the something. It makes my memorization easier just because those, I don't know, somehow those words just stick in my head better. The other thing that helps is every single rule at the top half of the page always ends the same way. You always multiply by the derivative of the something. So that part makes memorizing all those upper rules all the same. Talk to me if you need me to go through that again. So I'm trying to teach you how to get a little bit faster. So here, I've got to find this. So I just remember the rule. The derivative of a number to something is natural log of the number multiplied by number to the something multiplied by derivative of the something. That's how I do the work. Now that I've done the buff sheet and the pink sheet, I've done enough homework that I've drilled into my head the general process. I can start to do things a lot more quickly without writing so much. Questions? Here's a piece of advice for the AP test. I don't ever multiply anything out unless I can think of a reason why I should. It's not required on the AP test to multiply things out. So I didn't do anything with the denominator because I've just learned from experience that unless I see a reason why I should, I don't. Questions? So, next line, I'm going to have y prime. I'm going to write y prime of x, simply to help you get used to, again, another symbol that I have seen on the AP test at times. Be cautious here. This is the natural log of 4. The 4 is within the natural log function. Therefore, you are not allowed to multiply these two 4's together. The 4 is a part of has an exponent of x. That also prevents that from being multiplied by something. What I can do is I can think of this as just many factors. Basically what I have here is I have negative 1 over 1. This step you can do in your head. I'm just writing it out so everyone can see what I'm thinking. So that's what we really have. Questions? Cool. This is equal to 1, and then we just put it all back together. So y prime is going to equal negative 1, natural log of 4, divided by 4 to the x. Questions? Anything? Jacob, please.
Is the other way to do it without the quotient rule where you make it 4 to the negative x exponent and then use the exponential rule?
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
And either way works. It really doesn't matter. Once you get, now I kind of showed a few steps. As you get better and better with the quotient rule and the other rules, I find that solving that either way is, I don't know, about the same. 4 points for Jacob. Anybody else? So anybody have a different question that's coming to mind that you would like me to specifically address? Otherwise, I'll just pick another example. So we'll do it together. Okay, let's do it.
Another one with the quotient.
Uh-huh. Stop that.